Tennessee by 2.
That's Tennessee's Grant Williams giving his team a 2-point lead with just seconds to go in Thursday night's Sweet 16 matchup against Purdue. But the Boilermakers would play heartbreaker, going on to win in overtime. Williams, the team's junior forward and two-time SEC Player of the Year, could opt for this year's NBA draft, but he's got a lot more going on and is a much more well-rounded player, as our very own co-anchor Dana Jacobson found out.
A chance to win it with a 3 late. Now Williams. Yes! Grant Williams and Tennessee.
Before devoting himself to basketball, Grant Williams was playing something entirely different.
It reminds me of home to sit down at the piano. It takes your mind off of things that you might have been worried about. You may have a stressful day of basketball, you may have a stressful day of school, but when you sit down and start playing music, it allows you to just calm your mind.
My father loves music, so every morning they woke up, they heard ragtime, they heard jazz, they heard all sorts of music.
They were the Williams boys, with Grant being the youngest of 3 in the home. His curiosity as a little boy enriched by a family that always encouraged him to try new things.
Grant came here talking, mimicking, looking directly into your eyes, trying to determine what you were saying and what you were doing. He was observant and just an alert little boy.
I definitely describe myself as a nerd because I love to learn. It doesn't have to be academic, it can be in anything. You can teach me how to knit and I'll sit down and try and learn with you.
Well, we never wanted him to be regular. We don't want any of our children to be regular. We want our children to be worldly men, to make a difference on this planet. And Grant has done that.
Growing up in North Carolina, Williams competed in national chess tournaments, played several instruments, studied 3 different languages, and even performed in his high school musical. But it was basketball that captured his heart.
A 6'7" senior, Grant Williams.
As a high school senior, he led Providence Day to a state title, but he still fell under the recruiting radar.
I looked at him and I actually told him, I said, you could be president of the Good Kid Club, but with that said and done, I'm going to be hard on you. And from the first time he walked on this campus, he realized that.
Now in his junior year, Williams has emerged as one of the top players in the country. His Volunteers were back in the NCAA tournament as a 2 seed. And in the regular season, Tennessee was ranked #1 for 4 weeks. It was just the second time in school history the Vols had been atop the college basketball standings. You could say Grant Williams has been hitting all the right notes.
We've always talked about leaving a legacy, and that was the one thing I said on my recruiting visit to Coach Barnes, that I wanted to make an impact on the school, on you, and on your life, and I wanted to be one of the guys that you always will talk about.
He's always said, that he wants to be the best he can be, and that's what you want. Somebody that simply has their arms wide open and say, coach me and help me be everything I can be.
When you realize his mom is a NASA engineer and his dad was a math teacher, you realize where some of this comes from.
Wow, yeah, I want to be raised in that family. Can I go back in time?
I know, and he got into a ton of Ivies. I mean, and chose Tennessee because, that was the fit for him.
What do the NBA scouts? What do the NBA scouts do? How do you rate the piano and chess skills?
I know,
overall?
right?
Good for the locker room.